Good morning, my friends. Did you know this morning as you awake, as you get started with your day, or even if it's afternoon when you're listening to this, did you know that your God is in the heavens and He does all that He pleases, and He, in all His ways, does what is perfect? That is the God who you have committed your life to as a follower of Christ. This is the Live, Build, Change morning mindset, and my goal in these episodes, 5 minutes is all, is to encourage you with truths like that, truths that are bigger than you, truths that are bigger than your circumstances. And though you may not understand fully how those truths can be true, because you're going through some difficulty or some hardship or some impossible situation that is painful, my goal is to encourage you that it is true and to help you establish your faith based on those truths so that you can rest secure and firmly in the truth of God as He has revealed it in the Scripture. We've been looking at the book of Exodus and the life of Moses and all of the things that happened in Moses' life as examples for us to learn about our God and what faith in Him looks like. And we're up to Exodus chapter 12. We've gone through all the plagues and kind of wrestled with the difficulty of God inflicting this kind of harm on all these people. And how could that be true? How could it be that God would allow that? And now we're to Exodus 12, where Pharaoh has finally relented and he has said, yes, the people can go. And God gives Moses and Aaron this sign, this symbol that the people of Israel are to observe year after year after year, essentially in commemoration of God's deliverance of them out of the hand of Egypt, out of slavery. We know it, in the Jewish community knows it as Passover, or the Festival of Unleavened Bread. It's a time when they celebrate what God did in delivering Israel out of bondage to slavery. And there's certain foods they eat, a certain way they prepare it, certain rituals that they go through to symbolize the things that were true of the circumstance. And I want to encourage you today to look back through your life. Think of the circumstances and the situations that God has taken you out of in your experiences you've walked with Him. The deliverances He has given, the blessings He has poured out, the opportunities and doors He's opened. And consider, is there a way that from this point on, you can begin making little symbols for yourself to remind yourself of God's faithfulness in those times when it doesn't feel to you like He's being very faithful? And remember, feelings are fickle. I mean, you can feel something, but it doesn't mean it's true. You see, God is always faithful. He has promised Himself to be faithful to us as His children, as those who follow Jesus Christ. But we don't always feel that way. And so, can you think of something you could do every time you experience a blessing or a deliverance of God? And do that thing. Write it down. Make a chronicle of it somehow. Make a symbol that will remind you the next time you're in a hard situation that your God is faithful. That's what Passover was about. My in-laws used to have this basket of what they called memory stones, and they were little rocks they would pick up in various places where they experienced God in some way, and they would write on it with a magic marker the date and the situation to remind themselves. And periodically they would go through that basket and remind themselves by looking at those memory stones what God had done. I think it's a great practice. I would encourage you, think about that today. Pray about that today. Is there some way God would have you do something that would intentionally help you remember the blessings, the deliverance, the great grace of your God as you face your next hard trial? I think that's a very helpful practice for us to get into. I would love to hear your ideas. Connect with me, Carey, C-A-R-E-Y, at livebuildchange.com. And join me tomorrow for the next Morning Mindset edition of the Live, Build, Change podcast.